Imagine the searing heat, the blinding smoke, the roar of flames consuming everything around you. Now, imagine yourself caught in that inferno, your very being engulfed, facing a death so agonizing, so absolute. Today, Dark Truth Files brings you the chilling true story of Sarah Jenkins, a young woman from Phoenix, Arizona, who was burned alive but survived to tell the story. This isn't just a tale of a tragic accident. It's a harrowing tutorial on the ultimate fight for life, the agonizing journey of recovery, and the unbelievable strength required to rise from the ashes. Introduction. The ordinary evening, a blaze from nowhere. Our story begins on a warm summer evening in 2022 in a quiet suburban home in Phoenix, Arizona. Sarah Jenkins, a vibrant 24-year-old nursing student, was home alone, studying for her final exams. What started as a routine evening quickly became a living hell. The unforeseen inferno. A familiar setting. Sarah was in her living room, laptop open, textbooks scattered. The house was cozy, familiar, a place of comfort and security. The sudden spark. A faulty electrical wire behind an old entertainment unit. An unseen flaw, suddenly short-circuited. A tiny spark ignited dust and old fabric, and within seconds, a small flame licked up the wall. The rapid spread. Due to old wiring and dry summer air, the fire spread with terrifying speed. The smoke alarm somehow failed to activate immediately. Within moments, the living room was engulfed, the air thick with black, choking smoke, the heat intensifying with terrifying rapidity. Sarah was caught in a flashover, a phenomenon where all combustible materials in a room ignite simultaneously. Her tutorial on nursing was about to be replaced by a terrifying lesson in ultimate survival. Lesson 1. The Inferno's Embrace. Surviving the unsurvivable moment, the initial moments of being engulfed by fire, are pure chaos. A desperate, instinctual battle against an overwhelming force. Sarah's first tutorial was in escaping the immediate, horrifying death. Step 1. The moment of ignition. The flashover. The entire room seemed to explode into flames simultaneously. Sarah felt an immediate, all-consuming heat that was unlike anything she had ever experienced. It wasn't just hot, it was a physical force pressing down on her. Survival tactic: drop, roll, and cover your face. Her instincts kicked in. She immediately dropped to the floor, where the air was marginally cooler and clearer, though still thick with smoke. Disorientation. The smoke was blinding, suffocating. She couldn't see anything, hear anything but the roar of the fire. Panic threatened to overwhelm her. Initial burns. The heat was so intense, so immediate, that her exposed skin suffered severe burns within seconds before she could even react fully. The pain was searing, immediate, and all-consuming. Step 2. The escape route, recalling fire safety. Her nursing training kicked in, overriding the panic. Stay low, crawl to the nearest exit. She remembered the layout of her house, visualizing the path to the front door, even through the smoke. Survival tactic. Practice fire drills and know your escape routes before an emergency. Navigating the chaos, she crawled on her hands and knees, feeling the searing heat on her back, the scorching floor beneath her. She bumped into furniture, disoriented, but kept pushing forward, guided by memory and the faint hint of a less intense glow where the front door might be. The final barrier. The front door was agonizingly close, but the doorknob was scalding hot. She used a piece of her scorched shirt to turn it, pushing through the door into the cool night air. She collapsed on her lawn, gasping, her body smoking, the world spinning. She was out. Alive, but the relief was fleeting, immediately replaced by a pain beyond comprehension. Her clothes were fused to her skin, her body charred and smoking. The sound of sirens wailed in the distance, a blurry, fading promise of help. She had survived being burned alive, but her battle had just begun. How does a person endure a pain so absolute, so all-consuming, that merely existing becomes a new form of torture. The inferno was over, but the fire within her body had just begun its agonizing work. Lesson 2. The fight for life. The agony of the burn unit survival in a fire is one battle. Surviving the specialized trauma of a burn unit is another entirely. Sarah's tutorial now shifted to an excruciating months-long fight against infection, pain, and the overwhelming odds of recovery. Step 1. The immediate medical intervention emergency services. Paramedics arrived quickly, dousing her still-smoking clothes and administering immediate pain relief. They recognized the severity. Extensive third-degree burns across over 60% of her body. The Phoenix Burn Center. She was rushed to the Arizona Burn Center, one of the leading burn trauma units in the USA. Here, a specialized team of doctors, nurses, and therapists became her lifeline. Stabilization, the first 72 hours were critical. Doctors fought against shock, fluid loss, and infection, the immediate threats to burn victims. She was placed in a medically induced coma to manage the pain and allow her body to focus on healing. Step 2. The agony of recovery. Debridement. This was the ultimate torture of recovery. Her dead, burned skin had to be meticulously removed, layer by agonizing layer, to prevent infection and allow healthy tissue to grow. Even with heavy painkillers, the process was excruciating. It felt like being burned alive again every single day for months. Tutorial point. Debridement, though agonizing, is critical for burn survival, as dead tissue is a breeding ground for deadly infections. Skin grafts. After debridement, surgeons began the painstaking process of skin grafting. Healthy skin was harvested from less burned areas of her body and transplanted to the severely burned areas. Each graft was a delicate, risky procedure. Constant infection risk. Burn patients are extremely vulnerable to infection, which can be fatal. Sarah was on multiple antibiotics in sterile environments, constantly monitored for any sign of bacterial invasion. This was a silent, ongoing war within her body. Weeks turned into months in the sterile, agonizing world of the burn unit. The pain was relentless, the healing impossibly slow. But beyond the physical agony, a new horror emerged. The realization that the person staring back from the mirror was no longer the Sarah she knew. How do you rebuild a body and a life when every reflection reminds you of the inferno that consumed your past, leaving behind scars that speak of a torture few could ever comprehend? Lesson 3. The invisible scars. Reclaiming identity and spirit, surviving. The physical trauma was a monumental feat, but the fight for Sarah's mind, her identity, and her place in a world that would forever see her differently was her longest, most arduous tutorial. Step 1. The psychological battle-body dysmorphia. Sarah struggled profoundly with her altered appearance. The extensive scarring changed her face, her hands, her body. She grieved for the person she used to be. The mirror became a source of intense psychological pain. PTSD and flashbacks. The trauma of the fire left her with severe post-traumatic stress disorder. Loud noises, the smell of smoke, even sudden heat could trigger terrifying flashbacks, reliving the moments she was burned alive. Social anxiety. Returning to the outside world was terrifying. She feared judgment, stares, pity. She worried about how friends, family, and strangers would react to her changed appearance. This led to social isolation and profound anxiety. Step 2. Rehabilitation and resilience. Physical therapy. Years of intensive physical therapy were required to regain mobility in her joints, stretch scar tissue, and rebuild muscle strength. Each exercise was painful, a constant reminder of what her body had endured. Occupational therapy. She had to relearn basic tasks, holding a fork, writing, dressing herself. Her hands, particularly affected by the burns, required meticulous and painful exercises to regain fine motor skills. Therapy for the mind. Regular sessions with a specialized trauma therapist helped her process the emotional wounds, develop coping mechanisms, and slowly, painstakingly, begin to accept her new reality. This was a crucial part of her survival tutorial. She had escaped the flames, survived the burn unit, and battled her inner demons. But the world outside still carried invisible prisons. The stares, the pity, the fear of judgment. These became new walls, confining her spirit. How does one find strength when every interaction is a reminder of past pain? And the very act of living becomes a defiant statement against the horrors endured. Her journey was no longer just about survival. It was about defining existence on her own terms. Lesson 4. Rising from the ashes. Finding purpose in pain. Sarah's story didn't end with survival. It transformed into a powerful narrative of resilience, advocacy, and finding profound purpose in the very pain that almost destroyed her. This was her ultimate tutorial in turning trauma into triumph. Step 1. Finding her voice, the support group. Sarah joined a burn survivor support group in Arizona. Here, surrounded by others who understood her unique pain, she found a community. For the first time, she wasn't just a victim. She was a survivor among fellow warriors. Public speaking. Hesitantly at first, then with growing confidence, Sarah began sharing her story. She spoke at fire safety events, in hospitals, and eventually at national conferences. She spoke not for pity, but to educate, to inspire, and to advocate. Advocacy for burn victims. She became a passionate advocate for fire safety awareness, for better mental health support in burn units, and for acceptance of burn survivors in society. Her face, once a source of pain, became a powerful symbol of resilience. Step 2. The new purpose. Returning to nursing. Against all odds, after years of rehabilitation, Sarah returned to nursing school. Her journey gave her a unique empathy, an unparalleled understanding of pain and suffering, making her an extraordinary nurse, particularly in trauma or burn care. It's inspiring others. Her story inspired thousands across the USA and beyond. People saw her scars not as disfigurement, but as symbols of incredible strength and an unbreakable will. She became a beacon of hope for others facing seemingly insurmountable challenges. Defining her own narrative, Sarah realized that the fire had indeed taken much, but it had also given her a profound purpose. She wasn't just the girl who was burned alive. She was the woman who survived to tell the story, a testament to the power of the human spirit. Sarah Jenkins was burned alive, enduring pain beyond imagination, a torture that few could comprehend. But she survived. Her journey from the inferno to healing, from despair to purpose, is an unbelievable testament to human resilience. Her scars tell a story, not of victimhood, but of profound strength. What does it truly mean to survive the unspeakable, to rise from the ashes, and to find light in the darkest corners of human experience? Her story reminds us that even when burned alive, the human spirit can defy all odds and live to tell the most powerful of tales. For more chilling insights into true stories of survival, unbelievable resilience, and the dark truths of the human spirit, make sure to subscribe to Dark Truth Files.